right, guys, how we doing? Sam here with you. It's Monday. It's the 17th of June. And, right, so you guys saw our polling this morning. Ethereum was the clear winner, so this is kind of convenient. We're just picking up. I think the last time I did this was, maybe 9 days ago. So we can pick up right where we left off on this count. So just a few quick things to review. One premise being that our low is in here. We are still seeking the third at the larger degree. We have the 3 and the 4 per my count here in. So from the 2 low here, we've gone 1, 2, 3 is in. We've got our 4, and now we're seeking the 5 up here. Well, I'm kind of just eyeballing here, but we'll get to some more specific targets. So we'd be looking for some symmetry along these lines, which looks fairly good. So, let's just make note of the dominant set of median lines that seem to be containing the market. Now we have pushed off to the edge, so I had to put the 200%. All right, so here's the median 100, 200, the 150. So we have this move outside of the internal channel here. So you see it just essentially just duplicates the channel. The other thing we could do, well, let's see, that's not what I want. All right, so from the 1 to the proposed 3, this is always kind of worth noting. If we're going to start to break down lower, that will be an area of, well, let's see. Let me do it this way. So this potentially now, if we start to correct more deeply, might want to consider something along these lines here. So we'd be looking for some sort of confluence here where that median line runs into that channel. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So let's stay focused here. So I should say I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's stay focused on where we are. So per the count as it sits now, looks like the 1, so we're seeking the 5th of the 3rd of the larger degree. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 still in play to get us up here to get the 5 of the 3rd. So when we last looked at it, we just kind of outlined a few things, and here was the potential entry. So we had this sideways action. Clear 5 comes up here to finish what I think is our 3rd. The ABC, we finish with an ending diagonal, gives us our 4 here, right to the Vegas wave. Note, right? And then we kick right up here. So we had been, let's go down. I'm going from the 8 hour here to the 1 hour. So this is an idea that I show you guys all the time, right? So the idea being, if you think you've got a low here, rather than trying to pick the turn, wait for the first motive off of the low, and we do get a little motive here. So from the low, come here, trading view. From the low, we go up to the high, and what do? 50 to the tick. So we had drawn the little box here as a potential entry anywhere from the 50 to the 618, right? So pretty much right by the book. So we get a little ABC here. We come down, we hit the 50 to the tick. First target, second target gets it. And a little ABC down here for the 4. And looks like we're in the 5 here. So we have a candidate for the 1 at this degree to be complete. Now we're getting a little chop here. This looks like we may have something. Maybe we've got an A, B, and we're going to seek a C here. So this looks like potentially we'd need 5 down here. We might have a flat in the second. We'd be anticipating a deeper correction. So if, and we don't know for sure yet that this 1 is in, but it certainly looks like it may well be. So that, again, same idea, right? Just at the higher degree. We'd be looking down here between the 50 and the 618. Right, trying to get, so if you miss this one, right, that's what I'll often tell you, don't sweat missing that one, because there's likely to be another opportunity if we're going to get a true. So in this case, right, per what we see so far, right, we can't be definitive about it, but I got a 3-3, give me a 5 at the 50, and that's pretty much of a straightforward combination of pretty much everything we teach, right? So I got a completed motive wave. We got a little overlap here. So I've got a completed motive wave. So in this case, we're gonna have to fit this into a diagonal because of that little overlap. So you have, it's kind of open to interpretation here, right? So this is a 1 or 2 tick overlap. Crypto, right? So we see this more. We also see it in FX where there's a very slight overlap. You've just got one wick. Now purists going to say, DQ, right? Got to be a diagonal. So Oh, in here looks like it might be easier case to make for an ABC in here. All right, then you'd have to do something similar here, and just so ABC here, ABC. All right, so we can accommodate purists here. So on the assumption that we're done here, we're now in the process. So here's sort of another example of what we were looking at here. So we get a little channel started here. So the center line down here at the 50 for the potential 2 at this degree sets up rather nicely. So we can take this one off as it's come and gone. You would potentially now be setting up another set of median lines. So now we're not here yet, but if this comes down, it's going to play ball. We're going to come down into this zone here. Well, we could have a corner pocket here. We could have a golden corner. So we need to get this move here established. Right? So this is where you'd look for it. And so we've got a little structure here to pay attention to, right? Always look left, looking for... Markets are so level sensitive here. So if we come to this level here, that's an ideal scenario. So essentially, you'd have the very similar to what we were talking about down here. You'd have a potential entry here, first entry. So you got to pay attention to that. You possible front run here. You see nice market acceptance here. So if we can come down here, and again, as I said here, if we can come down, if we can get this this flat to realize by giving us a 5 down, then we got another. This would be pretty much of a I would tell you that's a must take. Why would you not take that trade, right? There's certainly no, this little overlap wouldn't be enough to have me rethinking the larger degree, saying, well, okay, I've got a 2-tick overlap of the 1, so this count is completely invalidated. I wouldn't go there, right? I would, keep an eye on it as a potential problem spot, but right now, it's pretty solid looking one wave. Now we'll have to see if we resolve here. So I certainly would not suggest. Well, for me, there's no sell here, right? So all we're looking for is the potential buy to go up and finish this. So if we're going to get a true third, we'd be looking for it up here at the -100. That's our shorthand for the 1618. So if we can come down here and get this 5, this is a nice looking setup. Now don't force it, don't chase it. Let it come in, let it set up. There's no reason to force anything here. If you miss it, you miss it, right? Next trade, next market, next setup. Let it come to you. So if this is going to come down and give us that 5, well, it certainly sets up for the completion of this. We'd be looking to get into the 3rd of the 5th at this degree. But remember, we're still seeking the 3rd at the larger degree. Right, so plenty of upside here. Now, one thing to note here, if we pull way back out here to the 8-hour here and set this up, but there's plenty of room here. So the last dominant before we head down would be this pivot here, so down to our low. Still plenty of upside before we're going to hit any resistance, algorithmic resistance tied to that dominant high to low. So you've got, well, let's do it this way. We got lots of room here. So that's 456. Plenty of room for this to realize and stay on this count before we would run into any major selling resistance there. So the assumption is the low is in. We're seeking, at the larger degree, seeking the 1 wave to complete off of this low. All right, so all very bullish so far. Certainly doesn't look corrective, right? So I think reasonable to assume the low is in here, and we're seeking that at that very large degree, the 1, but anticipating at some point there's likely to be some sort of a retracement off of the entire thing. Right? So I know when crypto is just screaming like this, it just looks like, oh my God, it's going to keep going, keep going, keep going. So that it's possible, right? It's possible that we're just going to keep screaming, but again, all we do here is play the odds, right? So the odds are, if we were to get up to that 5, now I got to. So it would put us back down here. So here would be the 50, right, in this range. Well, here would be the 618. So this would be where we'd be looking here down. Well, let's call it 280-ish, right? If now again, I don't have this, but if we get up to that level, we'd be looking for something like that, and then that's the monster 3, right, the big one. Right, but so I say that, but realize, 5 years from now, this could be the 3 of the 1 at the larger degree. So don't, these things keep degrees on top of degrees on top of degrees. Don't assume, well, oh, that's the 1, 2, and we're going up for the 5, and that'll be it. This could be the 1, 2 of the 1 at the larger degree. All right, so keep that in mind. So I don't think there's much more I can offer to you here other than let this come in. I think there's a very, very reasonable trade setting up, good risk reward, right? If we're going up for the third, we know we're going to have at least 3 to 1 to the upside, more likely 5, 6 to 1. We got a little structure here. It does look like we bumped into this structure here. So again, as I tell you guys, always look left, right? Look for something that we might run into. So prior resistance seems to be what we bumped into here. So kind of looks like a little bit of a head and shoulders. So if we were to think about that, so if we pull this over, that would be our neckline. Well, good enough, right? So if we were to break that, then there's probably some more downside until you get to the next level of structural support, be down here. So I think right now, no reason to get bearish, right? Just none that I can see anywhere, right? Unless there's some unusual event that we can't foresee, right? So you trade what you see. Right now, no reason to be looking to get short. Right? I sure as hell wouldn't trade looking for that C. I'll let that go. Right? Scalpers, short-term guys, have at it. But I'm just going to sit here and wait for this to set up, come in, look on the buy side. Right, there you go. All right, that's 11 and a half minutes, probably enough here. Maybe I can get a couple more done today. Okay, so that's it for Ethereum. Set an alert at the very least. Look at it. Get an alert there, so you know whether, and you look at it, see if you like the look of it there. It's one I'll take. Okay, guys, back to you.